published 11:34 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of May 2018, updated 12:18 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of May 2018. On Tuesday at the Cannes Film Festival I saw one of the most gratuitously nasty, offensive movies it has ever been my misfortune to endure. It was an experience that almost made me weep for all the worthy films that never get made because of lack of funding or imagination, or the good ones that do get made but don't get a coveted showing at Cannes. The House That Jack Built, billed as a thriller about a serial killer, is the work of 62-year-old Danish director Lars von Trier. At this week's black tie premiere of The House That Jack Built, dozens of people walked out. He is a professional provocateur who has been accused of UAL harassment by the singer Björk, and in 2011 said that he sympathized with Hitler and Nazism. Yet he remains a darling at the Cannes Film Festival, even though this is where he made his repugnant comments about the Nazis. At this week's black tie premiere of The House That Jack Built, dozens of people walked out. Lars von Trier's The House That Jack Built was reportedly so violent that 100 people walked out, but I attended another screening whereas the credits finally, mercifully, rolled. There was actually a smattering of applause, presumably from people enthralled to von Trier's undeserved reputation as a filmmaker, and not because they admired this revolting 155-minute product of an apparently warped mind. Yet the film stars Matt Dillon and Uma Thurman, big Hollywood names. What were they thinking when they agreed to take part? Dillon plays a would-be architect, Jack, who in America in the 70s goes on an incontinent killing spree. He murders more than 60 people, and we see, in unnecessarily grisly detail, 6 incidents, which include the appallingly sadistic shooting of a woman and her 2 young sons, and another in which he cuts off his female victims' breasts. Afterwards, he continues to play with their corpses in the most unspeakable way. Matt Dillon plays a serial killer in Lars von Trier's controversial film The House That Jack Built. Some psychological explanation is offered by a flashback in which Jack, as a child, snips off the leg of a duckling and places it back in the water to enjoy the spectacle of it struggling to swim. Whether any animals were hurt in the making of the film I cannot say, but it looks gruesomely real. Thrillers about serial killers can make brilliant, gripping cinema. Think Psycho or Silence of the Lambs. But this film does not contain thrills. There's not even much tension. Instead, there are endless swathes of dialogue between Jack and a character we don't meet until the end, in which they pretentiously discuss art, architecture and music. Von Trier used the same device in his highly controversial, 2-part 2013 film Nymphomaniac, in which Thurman also featured. It seems to be his way of applying an intellectual sheen over deeply unpleasant images. Of course, not all films are nice to watch. But it's not too much to expect certain standards of basic humanity to be upheld, and for that matter, for certain standards of filmmaking to prevail. Jack isn't even credible as a serial killer. From what little I know about that depraved breed of people, they tend to go about their crimes in the same way. Jack, whose obsessive-compulsive disorder is conveniently discarded when it no longer suits the story, does it differently every time. It makes no sense, nor does the decision by the Cannes Film Festival to let von Trier flaunt his grotesque wares.